Hi everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Two Strands Full Cross. My name's Lindsay, and I'm from Stitch and Magic 111. And today I'm joined by my lovely co-host Sharon from How She Stitches, and we're super excited because we have our very first guest, Amy from All Things Cross Stitch World. Welcome, Amy. So happy to have you join us today.
I'm so happy.
So we're going to be interviewing Amy today, finding out much more about her stitching journey. So we're super excited to get started and find out all about it, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
So first of all, we want to hear the story. How did it all begin and what drew you to cross stitch?
Well, I haven't been cross stitching for very long. So I've only been cross stitching since May last year. So we're just over a year now that I've been cross stitching. So the funny story is I'm actually diagnosed with OCD. So I have OCD. So when I get into something, I really fully get into it, and it can be a bit extreme. So before I started cross stitching, I was into Lego, and I was really enjoying it, but it was very, very expensive. Like, Lego's not cheap. So I was like, I need to find something that's a little bit cheaper, or what I thought was going to be cheaper. And so I used to go to little groups getting together and things like that, just sociable groups. And I met a lady who actually said to me, have you thought about doing cross stitch? And I knew a couple of people that do crocheting. I've tried crocheting, absolutely useless at it. Couldn't do it, couldn't grasp any of it. Knitting, absolutely not. And I said, oh no, I don't think I'll be very good at that. She said, it's really easy. It's just X's. That's all it is. And I was just like, okay. So she showed me what to do. And I thought, right, I'm going to give it a good go. And well, that was it. I fell in love with it. And I didn't find floss tube at this point. So I was quite one project stitcher. I've got one project, I'm going to stitch on it. And it was all going really well until I found floss tube and I found Lindsay, and then it all went terribly wrong, because it now is a very expensive hobby. But I absolutely love it. I love it. You'll hear Pandy Cat, by the way. She will still be moaning in the background. She's fine, but she's moaning. She's like nearly 100 in our years, so you can't really blame her for being a bit miserable. But yeah, the floss tube, once I found that, it was brilliant, because it was just, there was so many patterns then, so many things. And I thought, oh, I'd quite like to do my own floss tube. And then I was like, oh God, what, the doubt sinks in, doesn't it? And it's like, oh my God, what will people think? They're going to think I'm mad, because I am quite like that, quite eccentric. Oh my goodness, what they're going to think of me. And then Lindsay, you put the videos on about learning how you could do your floss tube, how you could start a floss tube. And I watched them and I thought, you know what, this is going to be all right, because it doesn't matter what people think. If they want to watch you, they can. If they don't, well, that's okay as well. I'm not for everyone, I get that. But it was definitely a massive turnaround, because I've made so many friends. I mean, that I can be quite of a recluse, because I live quite rurally in Lincolnshire, so it's just kind of me. And sometimes it can get a bit lonely. I have my own business which I run, but in times, in the evenings, I just sort of used to watch telly and I didn't really have much going on. Where now I've got stitching to do, we're doing like FaceTimes. I mean, it's fantastic. What a brilliant community. And I don't feel judged at all. And if something isn't right, like, I used to get really paranoid that my crosses weren't so specific and things like that, and it would make me really anxious, and I think, oh God, what do they think of me? No one cares. And actually, you know what, there is, as cross stitch Sarah always says to me, there is no cross stitch police, and there isn't any, because I'm like, oh, I should really do that project. This new start, isn't it, Lindsay? New start. New start, always room for a new start. So that's where I am now. And backs as well, because I used to think, oh, the back of mine is really messy. Who cares? No one's seeing the back. It's like,
Mine
I don't
terrible.
know. It's bizarre, isn't it, that we have this in our heads, and it's our own doing because we put that on ourselves. But yeah, I literally, it's been the best thing I could have done. I've made so many friends, and as I said, you know, me and Mel went to the retreat this weekend in Portsmouth, which was just like a day retreat. Absolutely brilliant. I met so many wonderful people, and you know, friends that constantly message and stuff. So nice, really, really nice. So yeah, this is definitely much better than Lego. Much better. More expensive, but much better.
I do think I need to change my name to Lindsay the Enabler. I do get
Absolutely.
told
Because that's it, you are the queen of new starts. That's what I call you, the queen of new starts. Because you know, because when I was when I was at the retreat and I was saying, oh, do you know it's such, you know, such and such, and I said about Lindsay, you must know Lindsay, she starts new starts all the time. I mean, there's a billion new starts. No, you don't. You have to check it out. You got to check it out. So yeah, you're definitely the queen of new starts.
Oh, well, I'm glad that I could have encouraged you on your journey. So that's great to hear, Amy. So can you remember what your very first project was that you completed?
So I was really thinking about this because I did do one project which I don't have because I actually gifted it to someone, and it was a dragon. And the only trouble I found with it was sorry about pan. It was on 14 count, but I only used 2 threads at the time. So and it was black. It was a black dragon. So you could see it. It wasn't great, although it was my first try. But I was really disappointed in it. Although the person who got it loved it, but I was disappointed. And then I sort of learnt from that if I'm doing 14 count Ada, because I'm an Ada stitcher, we've tried. We have. I tried the even weave, and what's the other? What's the other? Linen. No, I just can't. How? They're all there. I can't. And you know, my eyes aren't brilliant, but that, you know, yeah, no, we don't like that. So I'm an Ada stitcher. So I remember doing that, but I have got to show you. After that, they're a bit dusty, she says. I'm terrible with ironing as well, aren't I? So these 2 were mini ones that I did. Completely forgotten the lady's name who did them. You might recognise them. But these, so they're much better. Can you see I used, it's on the Ada again, but I used 3 strands, and it was just, and this was for Alfie because he wanted it. So those were kind of my beginnings. I'd say these were the better ones compared to the other one. You know, your first one's always going to be a bit dodgy. It is actually on my Instagram, the first one I ever did. But yeah, they're much. I've come a long way. Since then. But yeah, I think a lot of trial and error with this. And you know what else I've learned is that if you do mess up, just go with the flow. No one knows. Because most of the time you can't tell, especially if it's confetti heavy. So there's, you know, or I miss out lines and things like that. No one knows. No one said to me, oh, Amy, there's a line missing there or anything like that. Oh, look at that. That's all. No one. No cross stitch police. None at all.
They're all personalizations, if you make a mistake.
Exactly.
I've made it my own. I think you have already kind of answered our next question, because that was, when did it become more than a hobby? But I suppose that was when you decided to branch into the world of floss tube.
Yeah, I think definitely that was a major opening, because before there was no community, because it was just me, and I was on Instagram, and you know, there was a few people on there, but it didn't really come to a head until the floss tube. Once the floss tube started, I made friends. Well, I've got friends from all over the world. It was absolutely incredible. And, you know, people's kindness of sending me things, that was so bizarre. I never get any gifts at all. And I was just like, you know, this is absolutely amazing. And I've got all these things. And I was just like, oh, and I didn't know what to do, because, you know, I want to repay people, but they're not doing it to get something back. They're just doing it because they're like, well, we're not using them. And we know you would, especially because I'm an Ada stitcher. A lot of people don't use Ada. They use the other things. And so yeah, it really did absolutely open, and I would highly recommend it. I know it's scary. I'm trying to get Mel to do a floss tube at the moment, even if it's just, even with me, I said just do one with me when we're together. We could do one together, because it is daunting. Totally get that. And I am quite good at speaking, as everyone knows by now. But I, you know, it was just an amazing thing to make friends, and you know, voice noting people that I would never met. We've become brilliant friends, but we've never met at all. But it's just, or you know, if you're having a bit of a day, I don't know if you must have found this, that we have days where we actually don't feel like stitching, or weeks sometimes. You just don't want to stitch, and you've got to get that mojo back. And sometimes it helps to speak to someone and they'll be like, yeah, I had that, but you know, why don't you try stitching something smaller? And then that's it, you know, or sort out your flosses, or sort out your patterns, and then you're like, yeah, this is exciting again, and off we go, buying more patterns, buying more floss, more project bags. I've got so many project bags, it's just ridiculous now, absolutely ridiculous.
I am very envious of your project bags.
I mean,
am.
you can't
have a lovely
see
stash
them.
of them, Amy.
They're literally, because I've got a box full of what I should be doing. There's about 20 odd, I think there's nearly 30 projects that I've got on the go. I'm not saying anything, Lindsay. And,
no, we won't mention which counts.
Me and Mel were watching your video together, and it was hilarious, because when you said, I think it was like 68, wasn't it, or something, and me and Mel would just looked at each other and jaws dropped, like, we knew it was going to be big, but we didn't know it was going to be that big. No. And I was just like, oh my goodness. And then I was like, because Mel she's quite specific, she don't like to do a lot of them, where I'm quite easygoing. I won't do too many, but I'm quite happy to start, where she's like, oh God, you know, I don't want too many. And I was just like, look, you could be friends, like best friends with Lindsay. She could be your stitchy bestie. You know, I've got hardly any. So yeah, it was really quite funny. But the amount of project bags are like, I mean, they're massive. Ones that aren't used. You know, I know I've already just got some more. Oh, it's just ridiculous. But I love them. I love looking at them.
Nice. Yeah.
And my needle minders.
You shared on Instagram with the fish and chips. That's so cute.
How cool. That is Hot Trotter Stitches. Absolutely incredible. It was just, I saw the fabric and I was like, I've got to, because that is me all over fish and chips and curry sauce. That is me all over. And I was just like, I've got to find this. And it was on her thing. And I was like, yeah, one of those. And she made me the cutest little bag to match it. It was so sweet of her. To put all my bits and bobs in. So, but this is what I'm saying, people are kind. And that is my motto when it comes to this, because people can be unkind, but it's a real big thing that please share kindness. And if you can't, then please just step away, you know, it's just, it's not good. But yeah, lovely community, lovely community. Yeah.
Yes, and we will touch a bit more on the community as we go on. But I wanted just to ask you about, so this next question, you've not really been doing cross stitch for years, but how has your relationship changed sort of with cross stitch from when you first started to now? Have you had any blips in the middle?
Yes, many. Yes. Because when you start, and then obviously I started and I saw the floss tube, then you get excited, don't you? And I mean, it was ridiculous. I just literally patterns, bags. And I'm a matchy. I think again, it's the OCD thing. So the bags have to match the little minders, and my bags have all got their own squares. You know, what do you call them? Come on, what's the word?
The hoop.
Hoop. Thank you, but mine are squares. So I'm quite organised in that. And so I've forgotten the question now. What was the question?
Oh, it's just about how your relationship with cross stitch just sort of changed since you started.
Yeah. So for me, in the beginning, it was just like, oh my goodness, I need everything. And then as time went on, I started the Tea Goddess, and I've still got the Tea Goddess. And the Tea Goddess is a bit of a, it's a love and hate. I really love that pattern, and I am putting stitches into it, but I'm not pulled to it at the moment, and it really kind of upsets me. So it sits there and I see it and I want to stitch it, but I've just not got the pull. So it's things like that, where there's a project that I really want to do and I want to get it stitched, but once I start it, I just can't get into it. And especially if I go a bit wrong, and I have gone a bit wrong on that, and I don't know how. It's not terrible, like you couldn't see, but then it's put me off because I'm like, well, I've made a mistake. You know, it's really frustrating. So I definitely, within the year and a bit, if I make a small mistake on something, I can be put off quite easily, and it will sit there.
About that this morning.
Was you?
Yeah. How it's a barrier straight away when there's a mistake.
And it doesn't matter how beautiful the pattern is, because it's a beauty, and there's so many other ones of those that I want to stitch. Because the book goddess, that's another one that everyone's gone crazy. But I know that I can't start it until I've done that. So I will do, and I'm hoping, you know, over a little bit, you know, a few months, I'll do it again. But that's definitely something that's a hiccup. I find that if I do something a little bit wrong or go off and I can't see what I've done wrong, because I don't mind frogging, although it's a pain, I don't mind it. But when you can't see where you've gone wrong, I was just like, I don't understand. That's the bit that puts me off. So that's definitely one thing. And also the losing of the mojo, as I mentioned. Especially because I'm on my own, so you know, I've got a son who's 10, so it's just me and him. And sometimes pressure of life can be quite hard. As I said, I've got my own business, but you're dependent on me. Everything's for me. So sometimes that can put me off doing things as well, because I'm like, I should be really working than sitting here stitching. Because I wish I could just stitch all the time. That would be the best thing. I want to win the lottery and just be a stitcher, full-time stitcher. But then it's funny because my mum says, but where are you going to put all these stitchy things that you've done? And I'm like, I don't know, I'll find a space. You know, it's not wallpaper we need, it's cross stitch. You know, the whole room would be covered. But the losing of the mojo is very common, because obviously I've spoken to quite a few people, and you know, I get it. And then, you know, after a couple of weeks you get back in, and it's been a bit of a stressful time over the last 3 weeks with work. It's not been as good as I'd hoped. Now it's fine, touch wood, everything's okay. I am a very honest person, so I will be very honest with everything. And I did lose it for quite a while, and it was really quite sad. But then once I started again, I was like, boom, yeah, straight back into it. And the retreat, and then I met you guys as well, which was fantastic. So it's really sort of, this is really good fun again. So, you know, it's like anything, isn't it? You have moments, don't you, where you're not so keen on doing things. And you know, it's just the way it is. But we're back on it now, and we're okay, as you can see, and more project bags. Who could be sad? And needle minders, I'm hoping, Lindsay, everyone else has got theirs except for me. I was just like,
all posted at the same time.
It's awful. All these pictures were coming up. I was like, oh my god, Lindsay's forgot me. Oh my god.
They were all posted all on the same day.
It's really odd, isn't it? Maybe because I am rural, but they'll come in, and I was straight on it. I set the alarm every time. I know that you're going to set. I set the alarm to make sure. And I'm going through a stage at the moment where I'm trying to walk a bit more, because obviously I'm seated with my job. So and I went out, and I didn't get back till 7:20. And I was like, oh my god, the alarm's gone off because I forgot my phone. Oh my god, what am I going to do? They're all gone. Anyway, I went on there, and it was absolutely fine. I was just like, yes, I got them too. I was like, yeah. And then someone else messaged me and said I missed out, and I was like, oh my god, but I didn't. That's me, but yeah.
Bless you. Well, hopefully they'll be with you soon. It is really funny though, like the whole barrier of like going wrong. And I mean, I'd spent a lot of time frogging last night on a piece and felt so much better once I'd done it and got some stitches in. But the other night I couldn't find out where I went wrong. Couldn't see it. I had to get my husband to sit and find the mistake, and he was sitting there counting. And then my daughter came in. She was like, "Dad, what are you doing?"
He's cross-stitching. Oh, bless him.
Oh dear, so funny.
So you said that there's been times where you've sort of lost your stitchy mojo, but is there anything where you feel that stitching really helped you to cope with something that's going on, as a way of switching off, or just bringing you a bit of joy?
So basically, again, it's definitely down to community. It's watching what everyone's stitching, and then when someone's got a similar pattern and you see them doing progress on it, and you're like, oh God, do you know what? I need to do progress now. And that's how it is. Because I was a bit like that with the Mad Hatter, because I did Barbara Anna's Mad Hatter recently, and me and Mel did it together because we did it for her birthday in March, and Mel was like straight on it. She's like, and I was just kind of like dawdling. And then I saw her progress, and I was just like, oh my God, this is gorgeous. I absolutely need to do it. Because, you know, that is me, isn't it? I am the Mad Hatter, as crazy as anything. And I was just like, that is me. I need to make that design. So literally, I was on it, and I was stitching it. And now it's finished. It's absolutely beautiful. So it's definitely, I think, the community enabling, although it can be difficult. So Floss Tube, I stepped back slightly a little bit, only because I know what I'm like, and I'll just keep buying. And I've got more than enough, believe me. If you know, Mel will let you know. She came up to me last month, I think it was, and we went through all my patterns and stuff, and she was just like, yeah, this is not good. There's just so many, like, and in the end I said, have you look through them? Yeah. She hadn't. I know she hadn't. She hadn't looked through them at all. She was just like giving up, because there was so, I mean, bags and bags, ridiculous. And I've only been doing it just over a year. So so the really good thing about Mel is we've become really good friends, and I didn't know Mel at all. We're completely different places, and Cross Stitch Sarah is another person that I talk to quite a lot, and basically with Mel, we stitch together now. So basically we have a certain amount of projects that we stitch together, new starts and some old whips, and it's working. It's really exciting. I spin the wheel for us both, and we're excited about it and see each other's progress. So it's, you know, it's really, really, really good, and again, that helps me, because I think that's another thing. When you do things on your own, you need someone to give you that push sometimes. You're just like, oh yeah, I'll do it. And then scrolling is awful, isn't it? Like looking at Instagram and cross stitch, and that's the worst thing. So I would definitely say the community is a big part of me getting stitching and doing finishes as well, because fully finishing is the hardest. You know, it's all right stitching it, but I mean, this is just some of the finishes not fully finished at all yet, and I need
I'm
to
not envious of that finishing pile at all. If only.
No, it's just, yeah, it's a whole thing, isn't it? It's a whole thing. There's so many elements to cross stitch, which I didn't realize how many there were. But I definitely must say that community has been, you know, to have friendship, which is really important, and kindness as well. I mean, you don't expect people to be so kind, and they really are. And you can ask anyone anything. I mean, if I message someone and say about something, or where did you get that, they're straight back. You know, there's no kind of, oh, you're not having that. It's not that at all. It's really, really nice. So I'd 100% say the community are who egg me on, and especially Queen Lindsay,
Yeah.
who starts.
Yeah.
Terrible. Awful. Terrible.
Oh. So Amy, do you think that cross stitches had sort of a positive impact on your well-being, your confidence?
Yeah, 100%. You know, I as I said, I have OCD, and I really suffer with anxiety quite a lot, and I do become quite a hermit sometimes. We live quite rurally, so I do tend to stay in my, you know, the house, my safe space, and I think now by doing this cross stitch, it's opened up a lot of places, avenues, because I wouldn't have gone out to a retreat in the middle of Portsmouth that I've never been to ever in my life. You know, it's not that sort of thing. And I am sort of very sort of friendly, outgoing, but you wouldn't think that I would be, you know, a bit anxious going into, you know, a group of people. And most of the time I'm okay, but sometimes it can be a bit nerve-wracking. But you know, the retreat was definitely a big thing for me to meet, because do you know who I did meet? I didn't tell you that. Charlotte, so high heel stitcher, Charlotte. She was there because she's the one that we found it out from, and she's brilliant, absolutely lovely. And she brought, I don't know if you saw in my Instagram, a big massive wrestling cutout. So random, as if that's the sort of thing you bring to cross stitch. But she did. But you know, it made such a difference. And I hopefully, as time goes on, I'll become more confident and maybe go to a bigger retreat, and be like, you know what, this is okay. You know, because a bigger retreat is where we're going to see more people of who we are, aren't we? Like caterpillar cross stitch is a massive one. But for me now, stepping into that would be like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. But that little one was fine. So I'm going to try and find some smaller ones, see if I can find those. I'm not sure. I know there is one not too far from me, about an hour away. But I don't know yet. It's kind of like that. But yeah, massive community, and that really is just fantastic. I'm really happy. They make me happy. And when I do have really bad days, you know, I have days where I feel really sad or down, just speaking to anybody really. Usually it is Mel, I'm not going to lie. She's like, don't worry, we're going to start a new start, you know, it's going to be fine. And yeah, it's made a hell of a difference to me, making friends. That's been a giant step for me, and it does help my anxiety. You know, I came to meet you guys we'd never met before. That's a big thing. You know, I've been to a place that I'd never been to before either. But yeah, it was awesome, absolutely awesome. So yeah.
And was that really sort of unexpected that was another part of it? Or
absolutely, because I thought I'm just going to sit here stitching, like, you know, because they call it they're granny hobbies, aren't they? That's what they call it. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm becoming a granny now. You know, stitching. And who was it? Do you know what? It wasn't someone told me about floss tube. It was I literally come across it on YouTube. You know why? Because I was searching for, I'll tell you what I was searching for. You know, the weird stitches that you get. So the half stitches and things like that. And I was just like, I can't get my head around these at all. And so that's when I looked, and then Lindsay popped up. And that is how I found it. So it was, you know, it was meant to be, wasn't it? That was meant to happen. So yeah, it's made a major impact. But sometimes I do have to step away from floss tube because I'll just be inundated with patterns, and nearly 30 patterns is more than enough to be working on. Sorry, Lindsay.
No, you're fine. But I always think if I make a start, I know that at some point I'm going to finish.
That's it.
Well,
that's your motto, isn't it? Yeah. You know, you've got to start it. Otherwise, it's just sitting there. So I get it. I get that. That's you know, I totally get it. It's just. I think when you do get a lot, and then they're sitting there. So the longest is the Tea Goddess. That's over a year now. And I'm starting to think, I kind of need to get that done. I can't have that sitting there for about 5. You know, people were like 5-10 years, and they're like, oh my God, you know, oh, I'm just about to finish this. You know, I've been doing it for like 10 years. Oh my God, where's it been? What's it been doing? So yeah, I don't want to get into that situation, but I can see how it's easily done because it's a magpie. That's the way I describe myself, because it's like shiny things. Oh my God, you know, tiny modernist, Barbarana, you know, Primrose Cottage, constantly new ones, and I'm like, oh my God, I need this in my life. But the only thing that I've found as well that I'm struggling with is Christmas. I don't usually struggle with stitching things that are like, you know, I could quite happily stitch Easter, Halloween. Halloween's my favourite time, so you know, I quite happily do it. But Christmas, I struggle. I'm really struggling with Christmas because it's just, I'm not Christmassy. So me and Mel have agreed that we'll start Christmas in November, and November and December will be Christmas because it's cold. We get the tree up in November.
Cosy stitching time.
Yeah, tree up in November. No one knows. Put that up, Christmassy.
And Lindsay has made us all buy the London snowfall pattern.
Well, this is another thing. So the London snowfall is there now. Mel has naughtily, I don't even know if that's a word, but she's given hers away because she didn't want to do it. And she's so naughty because I've got mine, but I can't stitch it because I said I can't. It's sunny outside. I can't get in that frame of and there's another one. I don't know if you've seen another bust one on the on Letty Stitch. It's this, and I thought I can't get another one if I haven't finished this one. I've done a small part like that. So yeah, I think we should have I think you should make a group just for that snowfall because there's so many of us. It's all your fault, Lindsay. So many of us.
That does sound a good plan. That does sound a good plan.
I think because then we need enabling to get that going, don't we?
Yes.
So I think if you made a group for all of us, that would be really cool, because we've all got it, haven't we? I don't know anyone who hasn't got it. Well, apart from Mel, but I'm tempted to make her, because it's very naughty that she was like, I can't, because it is a bit like there's loads, isn't there? I think that's what,
isn't it?
yeah, and that can overwhelm people, can't it, when there's a lot? Because have you seen the mummy project that I've got? So I love the mummy. I haven't started it. Poor Jen has been telling me, oh, you're going to start. Who else was it who said to me, have you started that one yet? I'm like, no, I haven't started it, because I can't even see the pattern in the pattern. So I can't see the actual, it's so confetti heavy. I'll be doing it until I die, and it'll be put in the box with me, because that's how long I'm going to be doing it. But I should start it. I think if I did a box, maybe, I'm going to be doing it forever. But some people like Jen loves full coverage. I mean, I'm in awe of her. Absolutely, the Alice in Wonderland.
It would terrify me.
It does, and the London Snowfall for me is big enough. So this mummy one really is hard to get into that frame of mind to do it. I will do it, but I think I'll just have to do a box and just do it that way. But it's like, how often could I do it? There's a lot of, it's like 40 pages.
That's a lot, isn't it?
And it's confetti heavy.
Maybe one page a year? Be done by the time you're retiring, maybe?
this time, I don't think I'll ever be able to retire the way life is at the moment. But it's there. There's so altogether, I've got 4 big projects. So the London Snowfall's in there. There's a Cheshire Cat one that's a bigger one. The mummy and something else. There's another one, but there's four big ones that I've done. Well, that I've started, very minimal, but they're there, full coverage. And I will maybe next month we'll do a full coverage, maybe.
Oh dear, that sounds good. So is it my question? Because I've forgotten.
No, you're fine. It was, but I think we've sort of spoke about it anyway. So it was about sort of friendships and community and stuff. So
I mean, I wouldn't be able to be without the community now. No. And I'd feel quite lost, because every day I'm talking to someone, every day someone's messaging me. And there's sometimes, even like you guys do, if we've not heard from each other, we'll message, how you doing? How you getting on? And I wouldn't like to be without that now. So I know going forward that I'm always going to have that community of people, and there's always new people coming on board. A lot of people, though, I've noticed, are not really new cross stitchers. A lot of people have been doing it for years. So I think that's another thing that would be really great, to bring it into this new generation. Like Alf is a boy, he's not really, I've tried, but he's just like, no, I just want to do football. But it, to bring it into the new generation would be so good, because it's so, for your mind, it's so good. And it just puts you in a, like a book does, into another frame of mind. And I sit there watching, if I'm not watching FlossTube, I'm watching, anything like I love murder mysteries and things like that, Miss Marple, that kind of thing. So I can be stitching and have that in the background, and it's just so nice. My mind is then not busy, because that's anxiety makes your mind busy, and that's what causes the anxiety, is constant busyness and worry. So for me, that's the way I chill out, and it's so good for your mental health. So if you do struggle, I'd highly recommend doing something like that. Even if it's just smaller patterns, like these are tiny little patterns like that. Another person who does really small patterns is Ring Cat. So Ring Cat is, looking at my 10,000 stitches. So that these smaller ones, the little hearts. If you remember, I did these for Lovey Dovey, and these are so small but so therapeutic, because you don't have to think too much. It isn't those big ones, it's just tiny ones. So for me, someone like that, that she's got so many little projects. So even if you're not into the big ones, there's so many tiny ones as well. And another person who, I'm just going to shout everyone out, sorry, but You know what I'm like. But I never get this right. Miraly.hm. We've all done them. The little bunnies with the flowers.
Cute.
So I ended up doing all of them, and I absolutely love her designs because they're quite simple, but they're so pretty. And she's another lady that whenever she's got one that comes out, I do it because I just love them. I've done all of hers, I think, so far. She was lovely to gift me a little project as well, which I did. So yeah, it's just for your mental health, because so many people suffer now. I think if you can find yourself a hobby that you really love, and it doesn't have to be cross stitch, but obviously we're shouting it out because it's like the best thing ever. I just to keep your mind off it. And there's so many groups as well, little groups that you can go to who get together. So they're like get together groups, and they just knit or stitch or crochet. There's quite a few of them around. And I'd highly recommend if you struggle with things just a little bit, or if you are looking for friendship, this is fantastic.
It's
really
amazing,
really positive.
really, like when you think like cross stitch is a hobby that you do on your own, can be very solitary, that actually there's this whole community and it's a really sociable hobby.
It is. And if I'm honest, it's not always about the cross stitch. That is the thing. When we went to this stitchy retreat, it wasn't all about stitching. I would say retreats are more about the sociable side to it. Yes, we've got that in our hands, but we're talking, chatting, learning about people. And it's all different ages. It's not just one age. I think most people think cross stitch, as I said, is a grandma sort of thing that you do, and that's not the case. There's all different ages, all different people doing it. And I think for me, it's the community that's made it so fantastic, and why I love it so much. So yeah, I'd definitely say it was down to community. And obviously
I think that this is one of the we keep hearing so much about how social media is damaging and how it's a bad thing, and our children are growing up with something that should be scared of and is dangerous. But for us, it's been a completely different experience.
Completely opposite, exactly. And this is the thing. I think there's a lot of negativity in the world, and actually, as you rightly mentioned, there are positives to it. Back in the day, we didn't have this. People would stitch on their own. That would be what they do. So now it's opened it up, and we're talking to people, we're chatting, we're learning about people, we're doing beautiful things that we're stitching and hang up and think, I've done that. So for me, although the internet can be a scary place, it opens up a whole new, and it is, and as I said, it's not just cross stitch. I mean, there's groups for everything now. There was Lego groups, although it wasn't like this. The groups that we get in cross stitch, there's still groups out there for people that like different things. So that opens it up, because this is life now. This is how we communicate. This is how we do things. Where most people used to meet up in halls and things like that, it rarely happens. It's now all online and meeting people, and this is a great way of stitching. We could be stitching now, couldn't we, and chatting. So it's fantastic. Honestly, it's so good. And I don't think the internet is as bad a place. It can be, but I think for hobbies and things like that, it's fantastic. Brilliant.
Yeah, amazing.
So if you could go back to before you started your cross stitch journey, is there anything that you know now that you would tell yourself?
There is no cross stitch police. That is what I would say, because I used to really panic. It was a panic thing, and it wasn't until I sort of started talking to cross stitch Sarah. I did my first floss tube, and cross stitch Sarah, she messaged me, and that's how we got talking and chatting. And basically, she used to say to, because I used to, I really should be doing this project. I should be. No, you don't need to be doing anything. Just do what you want to do. Because when I did Lovey Dovey, that was another thing. I found that really hard. I'm not going to lie, because it was every day. And as I said, I'm juggling life. I'm constantly juggling. And although it didn't seem long, that 10-minute video, I still had to fit in the stitching, and I was staying up till like 2 a.m. stitching because I was so busy in the day. And then you'd get to sort of 9 o'clock, and that would be my time to sort of sit down and chill, and then I'd start stitching. And then you get involved, don't you? That's another thing. You're in this and nothing else matters, like no one else, and you're like there, you look at the clock and you're like, oh my god, I should be sleeping now, and you've been stitching for ages. So I think cross stitch police do not exist. You do what you want to do. It's free for all, and you will get it finished eventually. Hey, Lindsay, you know, you will.
Yeah, that is my motto. So yeah, I do worry where I'm going to put all these finished pieces, but I don't feel that's an imminent problem. So
not at the moment. I think we're all right at the moment. Yeah. I think we're all right. But do you know, where do you store them, Lindsay? Where are they all? Are they in boxes or?
I have got a unit in the living room that has like the ones that I'm currently working on. Then I do have some in another drawer in another unit, and then I have some upstairs as well. So that actually, considering the amount I have, they don't take up too much space. Because I think as well, most of the things I have started. I have a few that I haven't. So it isn't like I have the stash and then I've got another load of things kitted up waiting to go, or new. I haven't got that.
No,
I do generally tend to start them. So yeah.
And then how do you pick? Sorry, I'm asking you questions now, because it always intrigues me with Lindsay. Like, how do you pick as well what you want to do? Like, because you can't remember them all, surely.
Well, I've been planning my next floss tube this morning. I'm going to hopefully record that today. So I'm going to have some summer stitching. So I've got a wheel to choose, like a summer stitching piece.
Right. Okay.
Then I have my cotton and twine Tuesdays, festive Friday. So they kind of dictate a couple of nights of the week.
Yeah.
Then I like to try and do sales in between, the current ones. Of course, there's always more of those. And then I have just decided this next month that I'm going to put 500 stitches into a goddess. I'm going to have a goddess a month.
Okay.
To put 500 stitches in. So
good idea.
That's 2 nights. So I am going to plan out my month. I've got like a project sheet to plan out my month of stitching to try and make sure. Yeah. I don't just like pick out whatever. So
no.
Yeah, I kind of have a bit of a plan for the month, and then I find that I don't always stick to the plan religiously, but that's kind of the aim, to have a rough idea, and then I can pick up quite a lot of pieces, because I do like to stitch on lots of different things, especially when I am doing floss tube, because if I only stitch on one thing,
it's a bit boring, isn't it? Yeah. I get it, because you want to see a lot. And I just think I think that's again another fear, another problem that we have, is that if we're doing a floss tube, we've got to show that we're doing enough to have this floss tube. So I'm very much with this, because as I said with Mel, because originally I was spinning the wheel and changing it every day. And what happened to me is I felt like, hold on, I really want to continue this. I don't want to stop. So doing the small amount of projects, knowing that I've got, say, 5 in the month, works really well, and I'm more likely to finish them. Where when I was just doing new start, I wasn't finishing them. And for me to move on to others, I don't want to have them just sitting there, because some of them are beautiful. I mean, some of the projects we do are absolutely gorgeous. One of the ones that I did was the one that we were doing together, you, me and Jen. I passed you and Jen a long time ago.
Of course, me and Jen haven't.
So the little bee market.
I love that.
It's absolutely, and I kept looking at it every time and thinking, I love this, and because I want it in my kitchen, I know you want it in your kitchen. Yeah. And I was thinking, I've got to finish this because I love it so much. And so again, I put this as an old whip, stuck it in, and I managed to finish it. So all I would say is maybe a plan is a good idea. As I said, I'm not really a plan person. I'm kind of let's just go with the flow and see what happens. But I think when it comes to stitching, you do kind of need to have a little bit of a plan. Otherwise, it's just going to get out of hand. And I've been there. I'm talking from experience.
You're quite good, aren't you, Sharon, at like sticking with one piece for a bit of time. You make a lot of progress on a piece, and then you'll perhaps not finish it and move on to something else.
I think
is that kind of right? Do you?
Yeah, it gets sort of stuck in my head what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then when I see the progress, I'm like, oh, I want to do the next bit. I want to do the next bit, especially if there's lots of little motifs that
Lots of
they're
bits.
like mini finishes, so I'm
Yeah.
giving myself a little clap on the back every time I do a
Well, that's it. Yeah,
little
I
bit.
think seeing progress is the big thing, isn't it? Because when you
Yeah.
first start, you think, oh, I can't be bothered with this. But as it starts to grow and you start to see it, because that was very much with the Mad Hatter, it started to grow and I was like, oh God, this is gorgeous. I want to do more. I want to do more. It's just that initial beginning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
And
you
I do
can't see
find
anything.
that I'm not very good at being tidy and having everything all organized. I love the idea of it, and I've got this thing in my head. I'm going to make project bags. I'm going to do this, going to do that. But if I'm working on something and I've got the bug for it, I've got a basket in my living room where it sits, so it's not put away.
No.
So it's just there. So any little time I can have 5 minutes, I can just pick it up really quickly. So I'm not having to think, oh, I've got to go and find what I want to stitch and where's the floss, where are my scissors, everything's there.
Yeah.
So it's just straight away, I can just pick it up and I'm starting. So how I love having a plan. I love making a plan. I love printing off a little sheet that I've designed so that I can have little boxes that I can tick off, and I'll probably put one letter on it, one tick on it, and then I'm done. And I've wasted all my time. So I'm not very good with plans.
No plans.
But
yeah, I think the planning thing for me is because I started off, everyone got in the beginning of the year, everyone got the the book, the blue book. Again, the name escapes me, but
to begin with, almanac.
Yeah, something like everyone got it. It was like the book to get. So I thought, oh, I'm going to be part of the gang. I'm going to get this book. Started writing in it. I got to March and I've given mine to Mel because I'm just like, do you know what? This isn't working for me. And she's one to know. I'm not, and I've never been like that. I've never been a journaler or writing in diaries. No, we just go with the flow. Whatever happens, happens. It's just not my my sort of thing. But I think you do have to have some aspect of planning with regards to just every month to know what you want to do, especially when you've got a lot like we have. You've got to have some sort of plan going forward. But I wish people would stop bringing out new patterns. It's awful, isn't it?
It's
absolutely awful.
It's terrible. So Amy, apart from cross stitch filling your house, how has cross stitch changed your life in other ways? What keeps inspiring you to want to keep stitching?
So again, it comes down to community. As I say, I've made some really good friends. Mel in particular, I know I speak about her a lot, but she's like my stitchy bestie. I absolutely love her. And we're similar, but not similar. She's the chilled out one where I'm like crazy. and it just works. And when I went down to see her so I went down on the Wednesday and then I came back on the Sunday. We'd spent loads of time together and it was so nice because we were just sitting there and we stitch and we don't actually have to talk. You can just stitch and still be quite comfortable. And I always, sometimes I feel awkward. I feel like I have to keep talking, even though I've got loads to say. But, when it's just nice that you don't have to and you can just stitch. So for me, major, I've made so many friends, but especially Mel, I'm very lucky to have found her because she really does help me as well as a person because as I said, I can get quite anxious at times where she's not like that at all. And it was just brilliant going down. I went out to shops and done things which I wouldn't normally do, which is it sounds weird coming out of my mouth because I think a lot of people think, God, she must be really out all the time and doing this and meeting, and that is not the case at all. I'm the complete opposite. The world is a scary place generally anyway. But I definitely say I've made a friend for life, or friends for life, and it's just opened up so many different doorways. And I'm also surprised that people actually want to listen. Because I do go on a bit. So I think, especially with the floss tube, I think, do people, but I've got subscribers. People are wanting to subscribe. And when I went for a little while, I disappeared for a few weeks. When I come back, I was inundated with messages. Oh, it's so good to see you back. Thank God you're back. Really lovely things to say to me. And I was just like, I didn't think I'd be missed. So it's made a big difference. And I wish I could do the stitching thing every day. I really do. The lovey-dovey, because honestly, the comments I used to get every day was so kind and it really brought me up. Like, if you're having bit of a down day, it's great to have people like, oh yeah, this is fantastic watching you stitch. And I am generally quite a quick stitcher anyway. I'm not sort of quite slow. Once I get started, as I said, I'm just like into it. But yeah, it's massively changed me, and it's given me that bit of confidence, and it helps my anxiety. It really does. Just by being part of other people, you know, and just talking, you know, I miss that. I do miss that. Because I said, being rural, I mean, there's hardly anyone apart from bunnies and sheep and cows.
there's not a lot of conversation there, is there?
Not really. And believe me, I do talk, as you know. I talk to the cats that I've got, and I talk to the dog. But yeah, I don't get any really good responses. If I do get responses from Pandy Cat meowing at me saying, oh, and I think she's just saying, please be quiet. You know, you talk too much. I want peace. You know, I'm old. Leave me alone. But yeah, talking, chatting, it's so important for your mental health. And just discussing things with people that also suffer with their, you know, anxiety and things. So many people in our community that do. I think crafty, arty people do generally, because we take on so much, don't we? And there's ideas all the time, constantly, like, this is great, this is great. What a funny story, again, with Mel, when she came to stay here, we started loads of new starts. I was just, you know, I just got them, and she got them, and it was, she's going, more new starts, more new starts. Anyway, went to sleep, and Mel, she goes to sleep really early, like 9 o'clock. I'm just like, I'm a night owl. I go to bed really late. So she was sleeping, and I had this fantastic idea to do Mel Mania in May. And I was like, God, I need to tell her. It's like 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, I need to tell her. Should I tell her? And I'm like, no, I shouldn't tell her. I should wait in the morning. And I did. I waited. And then when I woke up, Mel, I've had this fantastic idea. Obviously, she wasn't as excited as I was, because that was like 5, 6 new starts. But I was just like, this is so exciting. And she's like, yeah, it's great. It's really great. And I was like, yeah, I was going to wake you up. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you didn't wake me up. You know, is that so? You know, again, it's having these ideas, and my mind is constantly like, oh, I've got so many fantastic things I want to do, like, you know, and retreats, and just so many things. So yeah, I need to be a bit grounded. And that helps by having other people who's just like, well, shouldn't you finish this one first before you go on to, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
So nice to see your excitement though. Like,
I'm like a child, honestly. You would not believe I'm 41. You'd think I was younger than that, because I'm like a child at Christmas. I'm like, and when I was doing Lovey Dovey as well, and something would come up, like one of them was the village, and I haven't even finished that, and I love that project, Valentine's Village. I was so excited when it comes up. I was like, right now. So I do get very excitable, but I think, again, I hope that you know, that's just, I'm just me, and I hope that people like that, you know, that I am just myself. I can't be anyone else. I wouldn't be fake. I'd just be myself. And I am very much like that. But yeah, just me, crazy me.
That's all you need to be.
So the last thing that we wanted to have a chat with you about and ask you is there a piece of stitching that you've done that is really sort of special to you? It's got sort of lots of lovely memories to it, or reasons why you stitched
I
it.
think for me was the first thing that I kind of fully finished. I've got everything set up here. You wouldn't think I would with someone who doesn't plan. But I knew that I'd start speaking. But this was my first fully finish. And this one would help if I show. So this is my little cupcake one. So this was in the World of Cross Stitch, and it was in one of the magazines, and I saw it. And of course, everyone knows cats baking cakes. You know, I make cake toppers. That's my business. So this was very much me, and the little faces just stood out for me. So I started to stitch it, and this was actually they had it all. It was the same thing on the picture. They'd done it similar to this, and I found these on Amazon, and I just love it. I just really love it, and it's so cute. And I'm really pleased that I did that. and I was because it goes up behind me, and it was like, because we moved into this house pretty much the same time as you moved into yours, Lindsay, and these little things I finished and put in my little house, and it makes it a home. Like, we've got so much to do in this house, but that just adds a little bit of character to it. So this is definitely my piece, as well as the bee, although I know I haven't finished, but I've got so many plans for this. It's going to be gorgeous in my kitchen. It's going
to spur me on to get them bees done. If you can get that fully finished, Amy.
Because there is another one as well. I don't know if you've seen it. It's not bees though this time. It's a similar design. I don't know if it's the same designer, but it's like a tea. Is it like a tea shop one?
Yes, I did see that.
Did you see that
episode magazine? It's in one of the cross stitches, I think, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I've seen that, and I was thinking, well, that I want to get that, because I'll do them one under the other, so that there's two together. But yeah, and another thing, actually saying it, was these guys. So these were, again, my lovey-doveys. But I'd never made a cushion in my life. So for people who don't know, I've been learning how to use a sewing machine. Never used one in my life. Couldn't even sew in a button. It was ridiculous. And I put on Facebook, could someone help me, just in one of the local groups, and a lovely lady came through called Janet, and she it was her husband that came through, because she don't use Facebook, but she has been teaching me how to do it, and she helped me to make these. And I mean, I've made project bags. They're not as good as Nicky Knacks. They're not even close. But I've made them. And when I look at them, although they are a bit like, oh my God, but they're mine, and I've made them, and I'm proud of it. So again, this is another thing that's opened. You see, it's branching out, the cross stitch, because I've met now Janet, and Janet is teaching me how to just, make things pretty. Because I didn't want them just to be in frames all the time, because it's like, how much things can you frame? But hanging decorations, pillows, little things like that. This is another thing that I just finished. Oh, that's just so cute. And we could hang those.
Where did you get that frame from? We're all going to want to know now.
So the frame is it's like a plastic frame. It's not expensive. It was off of Amazon. I do love a bit of Amazon, I'm not going to lie. I know it's bad, but it comes next day. Who wouldn't want something to come next day? So yeah, it's so cute pattern. So again, who made the pattern? I can't remember now.
I don't know if that was a little freebie. I don't know whether
it was a freebie, because there's another one, and it's like an American themed one. Yes. But then she brought out this one with the strawberry, and I thought, so cute. But I'll make that into a little hanging decoration and have it hanging. I need to get a hanging tree. I've been saying it forever, where I can hang things on whenever. It doesn't have to be Christmas. So that's kind of because those little ones, are good for like hanging things. So when Valentine's comes, we decorate in Valentine's. Easter comes, we have Easter ones. So that's the kind of the thing I want to do. But I'm proud of myself for doing these. I didn't have a clue how to do them, and they're not perfect, but they're mine, and I'm happy with them, and I'm proud when I look at them. They're in my room. I'm proud of them. And it reminds me of Lovey Dovey, which was a bit too much for me. Remind me, don't do that again. But as I said, although I can't say it was easy, I did still enjoy it to a certain extent. But yeah, no, those are the things that I'm most proud of. Yeah, I'm proud that I've made a lot of lovely friends that I know that they'll be friends for life. You'll be there no matter what. We'll be old. Oh, yeah. I think how many
Can you imagine how many starts I'll have how many whips I'll have by then? Oh dear.
I don't. It'll be on your gravestone. It'll be on. I am the queen of new starters. I've just said, look, bury me with them, because when I go up, I want to continue. I want to continue. So, but yeah, it's amazing. It's really, really lovely, and I'm just so happy. I'm really happy. And also, the designs, there's so many different designs out there, because when you just do one, you only see that one design. And then once I started Floss Tube, it opens up all these different people. Because I didn't know Barbara Anna only till recently, I think this year, it was, that I spotted it, because I saw the Mad Hatter and Cleopatra. That's my next Barbara Anna that I want to get onto. And I saw those patterns. I was like, gosh, who's this lady? She's colourful, she's bright, she's big and bold.
Lovely
She is definitely me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like. And I was just like, yes, this is fantastic. So she's definitely one of my my big loves. Although I've only done one of her projects, but we're getting there. But I adore them either way. And who else is really? I've mentioned Nicky Knacks as well, and Hot Trotters, fantastic bags. So the whole bag thing. That's I think I'm going to have to go to like a therapy session for cross stitch bags. It's just, what is that about? It's just
bags and cross stitch. They're kind of two separate hobbies now, I feel, Amy.
But they are, aren't they? Like, it's all separate. So collecting patterns and having patterns in the book so you can go through and think, oh, I don't remember that one. And then needle minders, and that's another thing. And then you've got the bags, and then you've got the actual cross stitching, and then putting all the bags together. I don't know if that's a thing for you, but getting all the threads and everything, although that is my pet hate. The one hate for cross stitch is the getting all the threads together.
Yes. Yeah, all the
now I've got boxes, little boxes, you can't really see, boxes of all my threads, so they're all in order, so I can just easily get them out, cut them, and put them on the floss drops, because I literally had them all in a big thing, and it was like, oh my god, this is awful. So yeah, being organised is quite important to me. I know it doesn't matter. It's a standing joke with like Mel, because Mel, she's not like me, so she's complete opposite. She could happily put a cat project in like a Christmas bag and not think anything of it. For me, that is like, you're going to jail. You're going to cross-stitch jail. Everything has to be matching. But I think that's my OCD coming in again. But I like to open the bag, and then I've got this gorgeous Christmas bag, and I open it up, and then there's the Christmas project and all the Christmas bits and the threads, and then the minder, and I love that. That's exciting for me, which is quite sad. It is. That's what I love. So yeah, highly recommend cross stitch, joining the cross stitch community and just chatting. Like, I love when people, I am a voice note person, as you guys know. I do love a voice note, but I just love it. I love hearing about what everyone's doing or up to, or yeah, fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Amy. It's been amazing speaking to you today, and I feel like your excitement for cross stitch is just contagious. So I'm sure everyone's going to really just love this episode. I know me and Sharon will have loved talking to you.
Yeah, it's been really
I'm
nice.
sure you'll love editing it.
I was thinking there won't be much that we'll need to edit. It's been a lovely chat.
It's absolutely lovely, and it's really, and this, I think what you're doing is fantastic. I think it's a brilliant idea. As I said, I was all for this when you mentioned it, because like these sort of things don't really exist. So to sit and talk about just general life and stuff like that, as well as our favourite hobby, it's really nice, because we'd go to, as I said, we'd go to a hall and sit and chat and do this same thing. So to have it online for people to sit, there's people watching this now going to be stitching, and it's just great. It's so nice. So I think it's brilliant. Absolutely fantastic idea. I think you guys are brilliant, and hopefully I can come back again.
Oh, definitely. We definitely will want you back, Amy. We definitely will. Well, thank you so much to Amy coming along. Thank you so much for everybody watching today. If you like this episode, we'd love it if you could give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you could share it with your stitchy friends, we would absolutely love it. And we look forward to speaking to you again soon.